Hello again, football fans, and welcome back for another edition of Griz Tracks. I'm AJ Mazzolini here with the Missoulian.
And I'm Bill Speltz, a Missoulian beat writer for the Griz football team.
And we got homecoming football coming up at the end of the week here, with Northern Colorado set to invade Washington-Grizzly Stadium to take on the Montana football team. But first, let's recap a little bit about last week, and a pretty good game it turned out to be with North Dakota State.
It was a good game, and when you look back on it, you think about how they had an opportunity in the third quarter to draw a lot closer with a touchdown, ended up throwing an interception there. That was unfortunate. And then from there, they just kind of faded, but it was a very competitive game, and even though they lost, I got to believe they felt that was promising for the future.
Yeah, most definitely, because that is a very good North Dakota State team, as we've all known for several years now. But we're going to be transitioning into hopefully a slightly easier game. I mean, if you got to play North Dakota State kind of teams 2 times back-to-back, you're going to be in for a rough go. But this week, the Bears are coming in for the homecoming game, and hopefully the Grizzlies will actually have enough players on the field. It seems like a lot of guys are banged up this week.
Definitely, and they have had a hard non-conference schedule with Wyoming and with North Dakota State, and so there's going to be probably a handful of guys that will either play just a little bit of time or not at all. And two of those right off the top that probably concern them the most are Jackson Thiebes, their left tackle on offense. Probably won't play. He was wearing a walking boot on Wednesday. And the other one, Tonga Takai, wasn't practicing. Now, that doesn't say that's not saying that he might not end up playing a little bit, but those are two key components right there when you think about the front.
And we're banged up on the line on both sides, especially on offense. That's not good with the struggles that Montana's offensive line has had so far this season. And on the defensive side, it would be great to have some of those big guys in there, because Northern Colorado has given up a lot of sacks.
Definitely, and it's last week, I kind of feel bad for their quarterback. Last week he was sacked 7 times. Sean Rubalcable is the quarterback's name. He's a sophomore. It's his first year starting, so yeah, he's taken some lumps, and he's looking forward to coming to Missoula and starting the conference season. And I think they're just hoping that last week's loss, they got blown out by Northern Iowa, 46-7. I think they're hoping that was just kind of an exception. They played well in their opener against UNLV, right, and they beat Houston Baptist. So they'll be looking to get back on track, same as the Griz.
Yeah, and as Bill said, this is the opener for Big Sky Conference play. So all of those teams that are in the hunt are finally going to be putting some wins or losses in the league column now. How do you kind of see this thing shaking out? And what have you seen so far in the preseason that might make us think who the front runners are?
Well, the first thing that pops into my mind is it's a little bit concerning that the Big Sky Conference went 1-7 against the Missouri Valley Conference.
Right. That's
the first thing that stuck out in my mind. The other thing is, how can you not help but look at last week's game, Eastern Washington and Montana State? The Cats nearly had them, and think Montana's maybe in that group. It's going to be a fun conference race, kind of wide open, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And some of those top teams that are at the top have a lot of firepower, but it doesn't seem like defense is really that big of a deal for these guys this year. And defense so far has been kind of the Grizzlies' bread and butter.
Exactly. So maybe that'll really push them over the top. We'll see. It's you always get nervous about going to Eastern Washington. Yeah. That game is in the back of your mind. You're trying to stop Vernon Adams, their standout quarterback, but there's plenty of time before then, and the first order of business is to get back on track against Northern Colorado this week.
Yeah, that's right, and Northern Colorado again is the opponent this week before we get into too much Big Sky Conference talk. So stay tuned with the Missoulian and keep up on all of the Grizzly football action in print and online at the Missoulian.com website. And also watch our Griz Tracks videos every week that we're putting up online on Thursday evenings to get ready for the game. Thanks for tuning in with us again this week.